the law of reciprocation. Is it a load of old bunk, or does it actually work? In this video, I'm going to show you how to use the law of reciprocation to your advantage and help you grow your relationships and your business. So come on, tune in and get watching now. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. That's the basic principle of reciprocation, exchanging something with another person or people in order to mutually benefit. And it's as a powerful phenomenon. That was a big mouthful. You've probably noticed that you feel compelled to do something nice for someone who has done something nice for you, even if they haven't asked for it. Us psychologists call this the law of reciprocity or reciprocation. In fact, it's not uncommon for you to feel the urge to reciprocate with something far more generous than what was bestowed on you. Of course, the law of reciprocation isn't guaranteed. You could try and resist it, but the fact is that human beings will generally feel the need to respond in kind to a good deed. So how does this powerful law work, and how can you use it in your everyday life? So in business, the best way to get maximum benefits from the law of reciprocation in business is to use it to help others and to grow your relationship with them. Building good, trusting relationships with clients, customers and colleagues is one of the most vital and difficult parts of any business. And to show that you are someone who has empathy, good intentions and credibility, there are things you're going to have to present up front to these people, such as honesty and sincerity, being helpful, friendly and generous. If you demonstrate these characteristics and are always on hand to answer questions and give advice, offer deals and promotions, and maybe even the odd freebie, your customers' employees will respond in kind to you. They will reciprocate with hard work, motivation and productivity because you are understanding and generous, or maybe you're not. Your clients will buy your products and services because you are honest and because you are offering something extra. Your relationships with colleagues and clients are a lot more formal than the ones with friends and family. I'll come to this in a minute. So there's generally an immediate exchange rule when it comes to reciprocity under these circumstances. A colleague swapped a Saturday shift for you, you're probably offered to cover the next one for him. And they probably expect you to. Relationships, there's a bit. So I'm talking about personal relationships here rather than the business ones. But the basic ideas of being honest, sincere and generous still apply. The difference between how the law of reciprocation works here compared to in business is in the length of time it might take you to reciprocate. Personal relationships tend to have a longer payback period, and this length of time seems to correspond directly with the intimacy level of your relationship. For example, you're likely to repay money you borrowed from a work colleague or casual acquaintance faster than you are to your mum or your partner or your dad. Who knows? And even though a closer relationship tends to be more understanding, it's still important that reciprocity is balanced. One person in the relationship doing all the giving and the other all the taking is not a great basis for a healthy relationship. And this applies to all of the relationships in your life. With a partner, with friends, parents and siblings, the law of reciprocation is all about acknowledging someone's kindness towards you and responding to it. And the advantage you have when it comes to people you know personally rather than strangers is that if someone you love isn't responding in kind, it's much easier to let them know how you feel and ask them to make adjustments. When it comes to family members, how quickly a kindness is reciprocated really depends on what kind of relationship you have with them. Some families might expect immediate repayment. Others might not keep track of who's done what and when. The same goes for friendship groups. For example, perhaps when you all go out for drinks or dinner, there is an I'll get this, you get it next time situation within your circle, whether that's the next week or in a few months' time. Or perhaps it's my treat with no expectation that someone else picks up the tab on your next outing. Pay me back when you can be a loaded phrase in friendship circles. Some groups have an understanding that this could mean next payday or even next year, whereas in others, there could be a slew of RC text messages and eventually a breakdown in the relationship if you haven't paid back what you owe within a few days. Money is generally the only situation when it comes to mates that might have an unspoken set of guidelines you need to adhere to. Generally, if we're talking about other resources, such as time and emotional support, there won't be an expectation of reciprocation until they are in a similar situation. So when it comes to strangers, the law of reciprocation, there are understandably more boundaries at play, largely because it's unlikely you're going to see them again. But the principles still apply, just in a slightly different way. Let's say, for example, you're in a supermarket queue and the lady ahead of you is about to pay for her groceries. She has a toddler making a fuss in the seat of the trolley and a baby crying on her hip. She's rummaging her purse and finds she's a little bit short. Teary-eyed, she starts to walk away, and what you do is you actually pay her bill for you. That's just an act of human kindness. And when I've done things like that, I don't expect payback because I know the law of reciprocation ultimately will come back and it will come round by somebody else. So in this case, the law of reciprocation might become an example of paying it forward. Next week, she notices an elderly man in the same situation and does the same for him. And that kind of stranger might actually then pay it forward to somebody else. So there's lots of different ways. Sometimes it pays not to expect anything back. So I connect a lot of people. I don't expect them to run around and have to do stuff for me at all. I know the law of reciprocation, they will pay me back anyway, but they will pay it forward and refer somebody else to me. It doesn't matter. I don't expect it, but I know if I do it enough, it will go round full circle. So in a world where anything, and you can be anything, being kind is the most important thing. That's the message that comes to mind for me. And whether you call it the law of attraction or karma, doing something nice for someone and having it reciprocated is surely one of the nicest laws out there. Now, you've got a choice. You can actually take action on what you've learned and start paying things forward and doing things for people without expecting anything in return, or you could sit back and do nothing about it. So come on, have a go, do it now. And if you've enjoyed this video, please watch the next video just here or subscribe to my YouTube channel just here.